Yeah, good to be back at home. Tough week for the boys. Um, we wanted to come back from this two-match trip with at least 4 points was the minimum that we wanted to come back with. Unfortunately, we came back with one, so definitely not what we had envisioned. I still think there's a lot to play for, and so we'll get back out there today and start to prepare for Butler.
Seems like you guys have gotten a few tough breaks, especially in different ways, like things that are maybe a little bit out of your control, some things that are in your control. How successful have you been at keeping the guys kind of centered and focused at what's just the next step?
Yeah, no, it's been a tough couple of weeks and some weird occasions, with weather and referees and most recently on this trip with our Xavier match where I thought it was a match that we were in complete control of and two freak long throw-ins and two lapses and all of a sudden you're down a goal and in the middle of another lightning delay and it's just it's been tough, and then most recently at Seton Hall, you're at number one place in the Big East, Seton Hall, and leading the game 1-0 with 24 seconds left. And this referee decided to do the unthinkable, the unforgivable. I'm still livid by his decision to make that call and steal that game from our guys. It was just unfathomable, and I just couldn't be more upset about it.
How much training have you guys had so far? I mean, do you feel like the guys are bouncing back from that as best they can? Or
Yeah, obviously yesterday was a travel day, coming back from the East Coast, and that day is considered rest. You're mandated by the NCAA that if you want to call a travel day an off day, then you have to make sure that they're here at least 24 hours before you can train. So we will train later this afternoon so that we can have that mandated day off and have that travel day be called a day off. So, we'll get out there and train today and prepare for Wednesday's match against Butler.
Travel day is an off day, huh?
Only if you're able to keep them off for 24 hours. So we wouldn't be able to get back and then train this morning per se, since we got back yesterday at 2:45.
Sure. Yeah, I want to ask you about the importance of player leadership at this point. Obviously, disappointing week, so you can only do so much. It's up to your players to kind of lift up. How can you get that positive mentality and just wash and flush last week?
Yeah, no, it's huge. It's huge. It's kind of been a common theme this year in that we've played really well, we've dominated matches, but we've lacked results, and so we need that resiliency, and I think it starts with leadership. Fortunately for us, as we do have quite a bit of leaders on the team, and we're coming down to a crucial stretch of the season where we're going to need that leadership to rise to the top to help the rest of the group. And so I'll be leaning on that group of leaders definitely in this last couple of weeks of the season.
You've seen enough soccer in your day. When you don't get the results, and your guys are working hard, obviously, it's like banging your head against the wall. Is there a breaking point, or do you guys how can you push through that?
Yeah, no, I think it has to happen. And again, to be quite honest, I thought that Seton Hall was that moment for us. And again, so unjustly cheated and stolen from us by the referee's decision to call that penalty kick. So, this is what I stressed to the guys after the match. Hey, you were right there. You were right there to get us rolling again. And unfortunately for us, it was just taken away from us in the last couple of seconds of the match. But the good news is we were doing it. We were on our way to get that ball rolling again, and so we're going to keep that momentum as we come forward for Wednesday.
What did you see in your defensive half? Because it seemed like the focus and the commitment was there throughout the 90 minutes, barring the last 24 seconds. That was kind of out of your control, but it seemed like they were doing a good job of having purpose in the box, defending in front of Cruz, and kind of making plays against a dangerous side to limit their high percentage chances.
Yeah, no, for sure. I thought the guys were well committed on the defensive side. I think it's a good way to start our attack. through our hard work defensively. I thought the guys were up to the task, and I think they'll be up to the task again on Wednesday.
What's the challenge going to be like for you without, one of your captains and Mark O'Neal and then another veteran and Callum Watson? You have to play without them this next match because of the yellows. How do you go about, holding steady without those two veterans?
Yeah, no, obviously, anytime that you lose two consistent starters, will bring up some challenges in that you'll be lacking that continuity of those two pieces that had been there throughout the whole season. Luckily for us, though, we do have a very deep bench, and so I have no doubts in the guys that will be replacing Mark and Callum. It's a matter of being able to get that consistency and that continuity with the two new pieces that will be starting. But I have all the confidence in the world for these guys to come up and step up to the plate.
I know these are the same positions, but two reserves did put the goal together for you guys. Like, how much confidence does that reserve unit have, and how much confidence does the starting group have in them to come in and make plays, especially with the situation you're going to deal with your two vets?
Of course, no. I think it does. I think it does something for both set of players. You got the players that are starting and the players that are coming off the bench. I think individually, as a reserve player, if you're coming off the bench and you make something like this happen, you feel good individually and you feel your self-worth. But also, maybe the teammates that were already on the field understand that these guys are also capable of coming out. And unfortunately for us, only so many play on the field at the same time. And luckily for Alfie and Chapu, Diego, who came in and did a great job on that goal. I think it's a momentum that we can take going forward towards the rest of the season.
Any more questions for Coach?
Thanks, guys.